J Money is money. We got Prop J in the building. We don't get a lot of Prop J. But right before we hopped on, we talked about there's about 15 games left, roughly, in the NBA season, depending on what squad you follow. And it's a really interesting time here. A lot of different it's hard to get a beat on what's going on right now in the NBA outside of a few teams. Jay's going with a prop. I love to see it. Why are you looking at Mr. Consistent SGA and an over on points?
Yeah, SGA is building his MVP case, man, and I'm one of the guys that still thinks that he could possibly get it. I know that he's not the favorite. He's number two though, so that's close. That's kind of what you want to see. If you're not really in that top three by now, you're probably not going to win whatever award that is. So Jokic is like kind of the heavy favorites, like at minus 350, but anything can change. We saw that happen last year as well with Joel Embiid and Jokic battling out. So MVP SGA still building his MVP case. He's had 49 games this season where he's had 30 or more points. That's better than 75% of his games, man. He's leading the league in points as well, leading the league in steals. I just think the whole team knows, like, they're trying to get him the MVP. And if he doesn't win it this year, I'm not sure when is the next time he'll have another case like this to build, especially with his team likely probably going to have the number one seed as well, hopefully. So if they get the number one seed, I definitely think that he's live to get the MVP, but he has to continue to stack up these 35-point games. And I think he knows that. The team knows it. And you can just notice he's passing the ball less and he's trying to score a lot more. He's going up again a little bit much of a soft defense versus the Jazz here as well. They're playing at the house where they play their best basketball. I like SGA to go for at least 35 points in this one, but if you want to, you could take like for him to get 30 plus points and with the Thunder to win, and you can get that around minus 145, or you can just take his over 31.5 points. I think both of them are going to cash. Obviously, if I like the 31.5, definitely think the Thunder go out here and get the win as well. The last time, their last matchup he faced versus the Jazz, he had 28 points as well. That was a loss in Utah. I believe there was a back-to-back earlier this season. Just feel like SGA is really, this is something I'm probably going to continue to bet for the rest of the season because I know that it's like a narrative bet. I know that he's really gunning for the MVP, and I think he's going to get it, but he got to continue getting these 30-point games, try to get to like 30-point games for the season. And I don't think they'll have a choice to give it to him, have much of a choice other than to give it to him, especially if they have the number one seed. So rocking with the SGA and the Thunder buddies over here for him to get 35 points tonight.
Yeah, as we record this Tuesday night, Denver's getting ready to get a win versus Minnesota. It's 109-106 with a few ticks left. Here, MPJ just got fouled on the way to the cup with 20 seconds left. The Nuggets are up 3. And if we want to talk about you got to keep pace. You got to keep pace with the Nuggets if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the only way you keep pace and win games is on the back of SGA. I also like the spot because he's been living at that 30-point range. And if we're going to get to bet SGA in a spot where they have to keep pace with the Nuggets, and it's against the Utah Jazz, who have been atrocious on defense all year long, have nothing to play for. I don't see why any extra effort would be involved in slowing down SGA. Now, last couple games for SGA, though, has been a bit slow. He hasn't cleared this number in the last 4. He's coming off 20, 31, 30, 23. But he's also going to be coming off quite a few days of rest here. Wednesday, last game that SGA played was on Saturday. And a lot of these games where he went under that total, he went 3 games in 4 days. He went Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 3 straight games where he went under. But that was a tough stretch of games. Now he's going to get rested. He's at the crib, and he's playing a poor Utah Jazz defense. I like, and they have to keep up with Denver, who continues to be lights out post All-Star break. I like the spot, and hopefully he gets support from the guys, and they can get that W, keep track with Denver, and go over the 31.5.
That makes me like even more the fact that he hasn't got over, because usually his points prop is around 30.5. They're starting to bump it up a little bit because noticing how he's doing. But that game that he had 31, I had his over 30.5. So he still cashed for me. But the fact that he hasn't really just like touched the 35 here in the last 4 games gives me even more confidence that he knows that he's got to go for like 35 tonight. And also looking at his assist under, it's not a bad look. That you were having it like at 6.5. They bumped it down to 5.5. While he's been looking so much to score, he hasn't been looking much to pass the ball. He's been like having like 27 field goal attempts. So he's going to score, not necessarily pass the ball. I think those two are correlated as well. So I really like his over 31.5 points here.